Karen knocked over my sisters while cart got sued in civil court and owed us $80,000. What would you do if a single moment of cruelty shattered someone's livelihood and exposed the fragility of justice? In the heart of a bustling farmer's market, where the air hummed with the scent of fresh produce and the chatter of vendors, a storm was brewing, one that would leave scars deeper than anyone could have imagined. Lila, my younger sister, was the soul of our family's small business. At 22, she poured her heart into her flower cart, a vibrant explosion of Karen roses, those delicate blooms with petals like fiery sunsets. Her wheelchair, a constant companion since a car accident at 16, never dulled her spirit. She'd roll through the market, her laughter brighter than the roses she sold, her hands deftly arranging bouquets for customers who adored her warmth. The cart wasn't just her work. It was her freedom, her defiance against a world that often saw her as less. Enter Karen Whitmore, a woman whose name became synonymous with chaos in our small town. Karen was a regular at the market, but not the kind anyone welcomed. Her sharp tongue and entitled swagger made vendors flinch. She'd haggle over $1, complain about imperfect apples, and leave a trail of sour faces. Nobody knew why she kept coming back. Maybe she thrived on the attention. That Saturday, though, she didn't just stir trouble. She ignited a fire. It was late morning, the market at its peak. Lila was arranging a bouquet of Karen roses for Mrs. Delaney, a sweet elderly woman who bought flowers every week. I was nearby, restocking our jars of homemade jam, when Karen stormed through. Her designer sunglasses glinted as she barked into her phone, oblivious to the crowd. "Move it!" she snapped, shoving past a young couple. Her eyes locked on Lila's cart, parked neatly by the walkway. For reasons only Karen could fathom, she stopped, her face twisting with disdain. "Hey you!" she called, striding toward Lila. "This cart's blocking my way. Move it now." Lila, ever patient, smiled softly. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'll move it right away." She set the bouquet down and began maneuvering her wheelchair. The cart was heavy, loaded with roses, and Lila's arms strained as she tried to shift it. Mrs. Delaney offered to help, but Karen wasn't having it. "Useless," Karen muttered, loud enough for everyone to hear. Before Lila could respond, Karen grabbed the cart's handle and yanked it. The force was reckless, violent. The cart tipped, teetering for a heart-stopping moment before crashing to the ground. Roses scattered like bloodstains across the pavement, vases shattered, and the wooden frame splintered. Lila gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. The crowd froze, a collective breath held in shock. "You did that on purpose," I shouted, rushing to Lila's side. Karen smirked, unfazed. Maybe if she wasn't so slow, this wouldn't have happened. Her words cut deeper than the broken glass around us. Lila's eyes welled up, but she didn't cry, not yet. She just stared at the wreckage of her dream. The market buzzed with whispers. Mrs. Delaney, trembling with anger, pointed a finger at Karen. "You're a disgrace," she said. Others nodded, but Karen just rolled her eyes and walked away, leaving us to pick up the pieces. I knelt beside Lila, my heart breaking as she touched a crushed rose. "It's okay, Marcus," she whispered, but her voice shook. It wasn't okay. That cart was her lifeline, built with every penny we'd saved, and Karen had destroyed it without a shred of remorse. That night, Lila didn't sleep. Neither did I. We sat in our cramped apartment, surrounded by the faint scent of roses that clung to her clothes. "We can't let her get away with this," I said. Lila nodded, her jaw tight. "I want to fight, Marcus. Not just for me, for everyone she's ever hurt." We hired a lawyer, Ms. Elena Torres, a fierce woman with a reputation for taking on bullies. Elena listened to our story, her eyes narrowing as we described Karen's actions. "This isn't just about the cart," she said. "It's about intent, malice, and the harm she caused. We're going to sue her in civil court." The legal battle was grueling. Karen's lawyer painted her as a busy professional who'd made an innocent mistake. They claimed Lila's cart was a hazard, and that she'd provoked Karen by blocking the path. It was infuriating, but Elena was relentless. She gathered witness statements from Mrs. Delaney and other vendors, even pulling security footage that showed Karen's deliberate shove. The footage was damning. Karen's smirk as the cart fell was unmistakable. Then came the twist we didn't see coming. During discovery, Elena uncovered something shocking. Karen wasn't just a market menace. She owned a string of rental properties and had a history of bullying tenants, evicting single mothers, raising rents without notice, ignoring repairs. One tenant, a quiet man named Javier, came forward. He'd been at the market that day, watching from a distance. Javier revealed that Karen had targeted Lila's cart because she'd seen Lila's success and resented it. "She told me once," Javier said, his voice low, "that people like Lila shouldn't be out here cluttering the market." His testimony hit the courtroom like a thunderbolt. Lila's hands shook in her lap as Javier spoke, and I felt a surge of gratitude for the stranger who'd stepped into the fray. Karen's facade cracked. Her lawyer stammered. Her smugness faltered, and the judge's expression darkened. Javier's words shifted the narrative, exposing Karen's cruelty as part of a larger pattern. It wasn't just about a cart, it was about a woman who thrived on power, crushing anyone she deemed beneath her. The trial stretched over weeks, each day a battle of emotions. Lila took the stand, her voice steady despite the weight of Karen's glare. She spoke of her love for the roses, how they reminded her of her late mother, who'd taught her to find beauty in broken things. "That cart wasn't just wood and wheels," she said. "It was my way of proving I could still bloom." The courtroom was silent, some jurors wiping tears. I'd never been prouder of her. When the verdict came, it felt like the world exhaled. The judge ruled in our favor. Karen was liable for $80,000 in damages, $50,000 for the cart and lost income, $30,000 for emotional distress. The money was a lifeline, enough to rebuild Lila's business and more. But the victory was bittersweet. Karen's face twisted with rage as the gavel fell, and she stormed out, vowing to appeal. We knew she'd fight, but for that moment, justice was ours. Lila rebuilt her cart, stronger and brighter, with Karen roses spilling over the edges. The market welcomed her back with open arms, customers buying bouquets in solidarity. Javier became a friend, stopping by with coffee and stories of his own dreams. For a while, it felt like we'd won more than a lawsuit would, reclaimed hope. But the story doesn't end with triumph. Months later, we learned Karen had fled. She'd sold her properties, drained her accounts, and vanished before paying a dime. The court's ruling was a hollow victory without enforcement. Lila's new cart thrived, but the $80,000 we were owed remained a ghost, a reminder that justice could be as fleeting as a rose's bloom. Lila never spoke of it, but I saw the weight in her eyes, the quiet ache of a wound unhealed. One evening, as we closed up the cart, Lila handed me a single Karen rose. "For Mom," she said softly. I nodded, my throat tight. We'd fought, we'd won, but the cost was etched into us. Karen's cruelty had taken something intangible, something no court could restore. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting shadows over the market, I realized the truest victory was Lila's resilience, her refusal to let a broken cart break her. Andy.